Welcome, Moonbreakers. This time we see Vellv versus Terrarius. We're already in the second turn, but I want to point out Vellv's first turn real quick. Because what he did is he dropped Motivator and then created a Cinder Pile, and Saveri and Motivator are both touching each other. And this is a really nice opening for Saveri because this gives you the 5 Cinder in your second turn to use all of Saveri's abilities. On this particular map, it's not that great because the map is so large, but especially on smaller maps, very often you can get in range and Saveri can use all her abilities in the next turn, which is really powerful. But you can see here both players go for a Cinder generation. Terrarius picked Fixer here. Fixer missed, which is a little bit unfortunate. But of course, Fixer gives you a lot of additional Cinder, and Motivator basically does the same. They do it in different ways. But the reason for that is Saveri is an absolute beast when she can use her abilities. She's really good at destroying crews, but she needs a lot of Cinder. She's the only captain right now that actually needs 5 Cinder to use all of her abilities in one turn, while all other captains only use 3 Cinder in total. And we see Motivator here with a new Cinder Pile. This Cinder Pile is interesting because it means that Fixer has a harder time shooting at Motivator. However, there's a problem here, and that is Saveri obviously has a lunge. And Saveri on her own deals 8 damage. So you can see Terrarius here is moving his Saveri into range, and that's a dead Motivator. So I think the Cinder Pile would have actually been better on the other side, because then she could have launched into the Cinder Pile, but she could not have used all of her abilities and the melee attack also on Edsley. Of course, then the Cinder Pile would have probably been blown up, and maybe there was still a way to kill Motivator then, but I think it would have been more difficult. Another really interesting thing here is that Terrarius moved all the units to the left side, while only his captain is in the center. So the left point is pretty safe here, and with the position on the board, it's really hard to Vellv actually to get there. And you even see Sabria is taking the Cinder Pile again. So we have the Cinder generation from Fixer, the Cinder Pile. There's a lot of Cinder income happening now. In the last turn, Vellv didn't deploy, saved up leadership. So now he has the option to deploy whatever he wants to. And we can see a lot of nice units here. I think personally Quetzali is a good choice because it allows you to get to the crew on the other side. And getting to the enemy's crew with Saveri is really important. Then again, we see shields on everything, so that is a little bit problematic. And we don't have 5 leadership. 5 Cinder. Which means Saveri can't use all of her abilities. And in the end, Vellv went for the Sentinel here, I think. Yeah, still positioning. Trying to figure out where to go, punching the enemy captain. And yeah, you can see he's really thinking about what to deploy here. But he went for the Sentinel and actually found a really nice angle for the Sentinel. He can hit both units. The problem is, of course, they are both shielded. So I don't know if the Sentinel is actually the best option here. But it definitely is an option. And then we also see Nuisance coming down. The thing with Nuisance is, of course, a lot of damage on a captain. Especially when the captain moves, attacks, uses abilities. But the problem with Nuisance here is Nuisance is also pretty dead. Because of the position that he is in. So I think if you want to deploy Nuisance here, you kind of have to protect him. Otherwise, against Saveri, units just die. And that's true for anything that you deploy against Saveri. You want to make sure that Saveri doesn't get to that unit, because otherwise the unit is probably dead. Saveri is just 5 damage already. Pretty much always. With a dueling ability, it goes up to 8. That's just not very healthy for most of your crews. So I think I would have preferred on Vellv's side in the last turn, yeah, to get something out that allows you to move over to the opponent's units and start killing them. So Quetzali, for example. Because right now, Vellv's problem is he's behind in victory points. He has another dead unit, so he's really getting behind in units on the board. And he has to catch up. And this puts him in a really difficult spot. And of course, Savria keeps applying shields, it makes it really hard to kill anything over there. Then we see a really nice drop by Terrarius, and that's the Crankbait. And Crankbait is just here to take the point, because he's already ahead in points. He basically knows he's leading by 3 points now because his opponent isn't getting a point. So this way, Vellv is now forced to take a point, or at least to contest a point at the end of the next turn. The Sentinel is there, so the Sentinel, yeah, it's probably going to stay there for at least a little bit. But it's a really nice play. Like, the Sentinel will contest this point, but he has to contest another point. And he only has 5 leadership right now. And you can see here, he's basically trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to these other points? How do I get potentially in range? Options here is to deploy Arya inside a point, which I think is reasonable, but Hidden Run and also Edsley obviously have a lot of movement range, so there are other options. And we see a lunge and an attack here on the opponent's captain. At this point, Terrarius is only sitting at 16 health, with the Sentinel coming in, it's 13. I'm pretty sure the Sentinel shoots it. I could be wrong.
What are you saying?
But in any case, it's a lot of damage. And yeah, here we go. There's the damage on the captain. So that is really good. But the problem is now, Edsley is really good here. Problem is the opponent is still sitting at 4 victory points, so the opponent, or Terrarius in this case, only needs 1 kill to win. And a small thing here with Edsley, you can see Crankbait can still move. If Edsley had gone further to the south, just to barely contest the point basically, Crankbait couldn't have moved out of the point. And Edsley just dies very, very fast. So that's definitely a problem here. Edsley just, yeah, doesn't have enough HP to survive the turn. And because Vellv is already so low on victory points, that means he loses here. The last victory point goes to Terrarius, and that's it. GG's. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the match. Have a fantastic day. Bye.